My name is Grace. Welcome to Practice Today. Today's practice will focus on lower back pain. Lower back pain is, of course, something that most of us will come across at some point or another, either chronically or intermittently in our lives. And quite often, low back pain can actually be attributed to tightness in the legs or the glutes, this sort of muscle area, much more than the low back itself. So we'll be approaching the practice from that perspective and working these areas to try to release what feels tight, release that pull on that low back. Namaste. Welcome. For today's practice, please have a yoga block and strap, as well as a blanket or pillow to sit on. We'll start our practice by sitting up onto the blanket and just prop your hips on the blanket, but let the knees and the feet kind of fall off the front edge. This way, we're already beginning the practice of being a little bit more careful and putting some self-care into the low back area. So this way, the hips have a little bit more space to work with, and the low back can be in a much more healthy position for you. Good, and then please close your eyes and attune your awareness to the breath. We always start in the breath. We always start by allowing ourselves to step into her rhythm, to step into the sweetness of her gentle wave. And just by simply placing our awareness on the breath, our breath will tend to rise up and greet us and deepen almost spontaneously. And let that happen. Then you can add your own little bit of effort into that by increasing the expanse of the inhale and opening up the lower back, opening up the lower ribs and belly, and really allowing the breath to wash all the way into the body. Good, and then as you exhale the breath, let all of the breath expel itself out. A full and deep exhalation. And then breathing in again, let the breath start to expand into the low back so that perhaps you can feel the breath fill into the lower ribs, the back of the ribs. There's a sense that the breath expands the ribs, makes space in all of those muscles, the tissue, the fascia that surrounds and supports this area. As you consciously draw the breath into this space, let it become more expansive, more full. You may already be able to feel the way that the body responds to this. Loves this sense of deep, full breath. Loves to be cared for. And stay here for a moment more. Full, deep breaths in. Expansive and complete exhales. Allow your eyes to flutter open. Excellent. We're going to start our practice standing. So you can take your blanket and just set it aside, please. And come up to the front of your mat to stand. Please place your feet hip width apart. Spread your toes on the earth. Now bend your knees and start to bow yourself forward. So at first we want to be really generous with the bend of the knees so that there's no tension on the low back. The load doesn't go in the low back at all. Wrap your hands around the elbows and let yourself just hang forward at first. Feel the weight of your head, the way that gravity will naturally pull or draw you toward the earth. And as the head gets heavier, sense too the way the muscles of the low back start to open up and stretch out. Increase that by breathing more fully or completely into the back of your body. Excellent. Allow your fingertips to trickle down and touch the earth. Very good. Keeping your legs softly bent. Touch the fingertips towards your shins. Now stretch your heart forward, head forward. Yeah. And as you exhale, bow once more. Breathe in, open up, stretch forward, nice and long through the spine. And exhale and bow. Good. One more time, deep breath in. Follow the breath forward, nice and long through the spine, crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Okay, very good. Good. Now bend your knees, please, and step your right foot back so you're going to come all the way into a full lunge. So for a full lunge here, you can lower your back knee toward the earth. And on an inhalation, lift your hands up toward the sky. Receive a deep and full breath into the belly. Now wrap your hands together, interlace your fingers, and going to lean yourself towards the left. So really we're just making space across the side of the ribs, side of the waist, and into the quad as well. It's this tightness in the front of the leg that can really be one of the major contributing factors of lower back tension. And on your next breath in, lift yourself all the way back up. And exhale, touch your fingertips towards the earth. So this is where the block can come in handy. So I'm going to grab my block and have it available here. So now tilt your toes up toward the sky. Sole of your foot upwards. And the block is really here just to kind of bring the earth towards you. So if you find it's challenging to take the fingertips down, then bring the earth up. Yeah. Excellent. Take a deep breath in, straighten the front leg, and then begin to tilt yourself slightly forwards. You don't have to go too far. Go to where you feel comfortable going. Good. Now create more tension in the front leg by spreading your toes, making the muscles of the leg strong, and then quite literally drag the left heel like you could pull it toward the back of the mat. Do you feel how that kind of wakes up the back of the leg here? Yeah. Keep that action, please. And then tilt your head just slightly forwards. On your next inhale, set the block aside if you're using one. Bend your knee, take the sole of your foot to the earth. Good. Fingertips to the ground. You're just going to assist yourself as you step forward. Do like a really just natural, very switch. Step the other foot back, lunge, lower your knee to the ground. Inhale, come up. Good. Touch your hands together and then interlace the fingers, wrap the hands to one another. Pull your low belly in. As you exhale, lean towards the right side. So to really increase the stretch, I want you to pull the low belly in a little bit more and then dip the upper body deeper towards the right. And then on an inhale, come up. Exhale, fingertips to the ground. We'll transition to runner's stretch. So it's going to tilt the toes up toward the sky, use a block as needed, or fingertips to the earth. And now inhale, lift your belly off of your thigh. Make your legs strong by dragging the right heel toward the back of the mat a little bit. So the stickiness of the mat is going to prevent you from actually moving, but that action creates a lot of opening. And then take a soft tilt, just slightly forwards. Sometimes less is more. Excellent. Bend your knee. Place the sole of your foot down. Fingertips to the earth, step yourself forward to the front of your mat. Feet as wide as your hips. Legs strong and steady. Now take a little bend in your knees. And with your knees bent, make your legs stronger. Just wrap the muscles of the legs around the bones. They're strong and steady on all sides. And then tilt your sitting bones, your bum up toward the sky more. Good. And then you can start to straighten out through the legs if you like. With the inner thighs back behind you. And now we'll bow yourself forward. Nice and long and full through the spine. Good. Take another full deep breath in. And complete breath out. Then push down into your feet to come all the way up and rise. Stretch your hands up towards the sky. Good. Exhale, hands to your hearts and at your sides. It's going to turn around so we can see each other better for this next practice. So starting with a little bit of balance, lift your right leg off of the earth and cross the ankle over the front of that lower thigh. Yeah. So notice that my foot is flexed. I want you to keep a flex in your foot, and this will protect the knee a little bit and deepen the stretch into the hip. Now bend your standing leg and sit your hips back like you were sitting in a chair. It would be a lot easier if we were actually sitting in a chair. Good. Excellent. So either stay just as you are with the upper, like the heart kind of in this lifted position. If you'd like to come a little deeper, you're welcome to start to tilt the chest forward across the legs and maybe touch the fingertips into the earth. You just have to feel where the boundary is for you. Let's pause here, take a breath. So good. Now push down into the standing leg to bring yourself back up. Uncross your leg. Perfect. Second side. Root down this time into your right foot and cross the left leg over. Good. So bend the standing leg, so sit back again. I really want you to literally try to stick your bum out behind you. Okay, good. So if this is a happy place, stay here, please. Or start to bring yourself forward, and you can touch the fingertips towards the ground if you like. We really want to start to move into the glutes, like into the muscles of the buttocks and hips. And this area can hold an extreme amount of tension for many of us. So releasing this area to release the legs, to release the low back is going to be key to our practice. Very good. Push down into the standing leg to slowly bring yourself up. Very good. Shake it out. So great. Inhale, lift your hands up toward the sky. And exhale, fold yourself forward once again. Okay, good. Pause here, receive a deep breath in. And equally long breath out. Deep breath in. And long breath out. Excellent. Please bend your knees. Place your hands on the ground. Step your feet back for downward facing dog. So you want to go pretty wide. Go to town. Give yourself lots of space. And for today's downward dog, our first one, step your feet as wide as your mat. A little untraditional way of doing the practice. And then bend your knees so that your knees are coming almost halfway down, like a half bend. Really deep bend in the legs. Very good. Now lift your bum up toward the sky. So you're going to literally tilt in the low back to lift the sitting bones up toward the ceiling more. Very good. Now stretch just your left leg straight. Keep the right leg deeply bent. Let the heel of the foot root into the earth. Nice deep stretch back. Excellent. Bend your left knee. Right foot back, stretch out, reach back. Wonderful. Bend both knees equally. Lift your hips up toward the sky. Exhale, root both legs back, stretch back. So if this feels like a comfortable pose for you, it might be a pose you want to introduce in your practice, because tight hamstrings are really hard to deal with in this pose. So going wider is going to help to assist that practice and give you more space to work with. Good. And now exhale, lower your knees to the ground. Take big toes together, knees nice and wide. Sink your hips back towards your heels, stretch back to child's pose. In child's pose, press your hands down and forward into the earth so that you take more weight into your hips. Root your hips back towards your heels, stretch out through the spine. Good. On your next breath in, root your hands to the ground, come up into table pose. Good. And then lay yourself all the way down to your belly. You're going to come up onto your forearms. That's so. Cross your right forearm in front so that the elbow is more or less underneath your shoulder and you're in this position, yep. And now flatten the tops of your feet down so all 10 toes are flat on the earth. Just the baby toe. Do you feel that? Good. Now come up onto the left fingertips and lift your chest forward. I'm going to bend your leg, reach back, take the top of your foot. So again, this is where a strap might come in handy. So if you have trouble reaching for the foot, hook a strap onto the foot. Yeah? Okay, good. And now instead of coming forward right away, I'd like you to take your hip or your bum towards your heel. It's this action of actually sticking your bum back a little bit. Yeah? Okay, good. And then begin to draw the heart forward. Now as the heart draws forward, the leg is going to come down, but it's really through the action of stretching the left side of the chest forward that this happens. Exactly. Now take a deep breath in, lift your chest up, and look forward. And to really add like a little bit of extra juice to this pose, from the top of your left hip, press out energetically through your left knee like you could stretch your knee toward the back of your mats. Good. And then release. It's a good stretch for the quad. Second side, cross your left arm in front, fingertips on the earth. So right away you get a lift in the heart. And now bend your leg. Reach yourself back, take the top of the foot, hold the top of the foot, hip towards your heel first, like stick your bum back, and now drag the right side of your chest forward, right ribs forward, right heart forwards, right side of the heart forwards. Good. So you get a lift in the chest, you pop yourself forward through the heart, and then from the top of the hip stretch out through the knee, and open yourself up. Excellent. Release. Cross your arms in front, palms together, or hands together rather, and let your forehead come down and rest. Just briefly. Excellent. Place your palms beside your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Take a deep breath in. Lift your chest for baby cobra. We don't have to go too crazy. Take the head of the arm bones back, shoulders back, and pop the heart forward. Look up. Exhale, bend your knees. Curl your toes under, stretch yourself back. Downward facing dog. This time, if you're comfortable with it, take your feet hip width apart and have a more standard pose. You're going to bend your knees, and you're going to look forward between your hands and either do a little hop or step towards the front of the mat. Whatever feels right to you. Perfect. Inhale, lift your chest up. Look forwards. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, arms wide, come all the way up to stand, stretch up, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart and to the sides. Okay, from here, put the weight into your right foot and draw your left knee in towards your chest. So often we'll have this tendency to want to pull the knee in towards the heart, but instead I'd like you to drop the leg down a little bit more so the knee is somewhat more in line with your hip. Put a little pressure on the shin to quite literally pull the top of the thigh bone back in space. Do you see that? Top of the thigh bone back in space. Now lift up your chest like a back bend. Open up the heart more. Perfect. We're going to rotate to twist. Wrapping the right fingertips around the front of the leg. Let the left hand come back behind you. Left arm stretches back. Deep breath in. Back to the center, and then lightly drop your leg down. Second side. All right, root down this time into the left foot, right knee towards your chest. Take a breath in, put that little bit of pressure with the hands on the shin, and slide the top of the right thigh back. Good, keep it back, and then with the left fingertips supporting the leg, stretch back and twist. You're going to let your gaze follow the fingers. Inhale to the center, and let the foot soften back down toward the earth. Very good. All right, inhale, hands up toward the sky. Deep breath in, look up. Exhale and fold. hold. Now bend your knees. Step your right foot behind your left foot. So it's quite a literal step back. And as you do that, you're going to need to keep the knees bent for the moment. And now walk your hands slightly towards the left. Let's go a little walk over. Take a deep breath in, squeeze your legs together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Reach your thigh bones back, so maybe the legs straighten somewhat. And then bow yourself forward. We're looking to get a really dynamic series of stretches in the legs. So great. Walk your hands back to the center. Switch to the second side, so cross over. And then this time, left leg behind the right. Keep your knees bent for now, and then walk your hands across. So as far as they naturally come. Squeeze your legs together. Pull to the center, and then squeeze the thigh bones back in space. So you straighten the legs out a little bit and tilt your head toward the earth. Very nice. Walk back to the center, uncross your legs. Perfect. Step this. Bend your knees, step your feet back. This time we're coming to downward facing dog again. Stretch back. Breathe. Bend your knees about halfway down. And now lift your left leg up toward the sky. You're going to lift it up as high as it goes. So you have the bend in the lower leg, which allows you a little bit more space. Keep that for now. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, root the right heel deep into the earth or toward the earth. Stretch out to the back of the calf. Breathe, open. Awesome. And then we're going to start to tilt a little bit, tilting your weight towards the right side. Bend your left leg and drop the foot to the right. Turn the whole upper body toward the left like you're opening up that side. Look up. Awesome. Left foot down. Bend your knees. Right leg straight up. Good. So you keep that lower leg a little bit bent for now, so you have more space to work with. And now, on an exhale, root down, left heel toward the ground. Stretch your legs apart. And then exhale, you're going to do a little tilt, bend the top leg. Lean over, let the weight of the foot drop over. Exhale. Toes back down to the earth. Stretch back. And lower knees to the ground. Slide back, child's pose. Stretch out. Pause and receive a deep breath in. And long breath out. Good. On your inhalation, come up. Ah, I feel good. Spin yourself around. All right, from here we're going to need the strap. So bring the strap closer towards you. Place it beside you. And then separate your feet as wide as your mat. Lay yourself down on the earth. And just allow the knees to drop in towards each other. Very chill, very relaxed. Take a few deep breaths. Once again, very intentionally drawing the breath into the lower back, the lower belly. Good, and then wiggle your feet a little closer together. Gather your left knee towards your chest. Focus the strap onto the sole of your foot. And stretch your leg out to the sky. The lower leg can stay bent. However, if you feel comfortable with the leg coming down straight and it's more or less comfortably resting on the ground, then you can choose that variation. Make the muscles of your legs strong, so flex your toes. And then pull on the strap a little bit. It's like you're giving it like a little tug. And instead of letting the knee bend, against that, keep the leg strong. And now stretch your leg up towards the sky, heel towards the ceiling. And perhaps even gather the leg closer towards your head. It's whatever's available there. Here, pause, deep breath. And we're going to migrate into a twist. So holding the strap with your right hand, let the left hand come down and rest. Now cross the leg over the body. And instead of coming all the way down, which we would often do, we're going to come about halfway. Really want you to step back a little bit here. Yeah. Keep your legs strong and steady. And once again, give it like a little tug, like a pull in the strap, and let the left hip literally pull back in space. You're going to literally come out of the pose a little bit. Yeah, you should feel the femur, the leg bone, upper leg bone, kind of gather back and pull back and snuggle into the hip bone a little bit more. Do you feel that? Yeah. Good. And then pause here and breathe. Wait for your next breath in to draw the leg back to the center. Bend your knee, unhook the strap, stretch out your leg. And just relax. Good. Second side, gather your knee towards your chest. Once again, hook the strap to your foot. Stretch your leg to the sky. Good. Keep the leg strong and steady, and then give like a little tug, a little pull on the strap. And against that pull, stretch up from the hip all the way into the heel of your foot. The leg nice and long. Good. And straight. We'll start to migrate to twist. Left hand holds the strap. Use your right hand to anchor you on the earth so you feel steady. Now cross over. You don't have to go too far. Yeah. Now give that strap a little pull again, like a little tug, and see how my hip actually moves back. It's like an actual kind of very gentle pull back in space. Good. Here, pause and breathe. Wonderful. On your inhale, come back to the center. Bend your knee and hook the strap. Place it to the side. Stretch out both legs. Relax. Breathe. Deep, full breath. And gather your knees towards your chest. And just wrap your hands around your legs, your little rock. Feels great on the low back. Gentle rock from side to side. Take your time. And then when you're ready, stretch your legs out across the ground. Totally relaxed. Let the feet drop out to the sides. Allow your hands to come down and rest, but the palms open up to the sky. In this way, we stay receptive, very sweet and sensitive. Then close your eyes. Turn your awareness inside. Follow the soft rhythm of your breath. And sense that with each exhalation, the lower back starts to settle in towards the ground. You're letting go of holding tension. And in its place, allowing yourself to be held, to be supported. Let go. To relax. Like to stay and continue to rest for longer, then please do. Otherwise, gently bend your knees. Roll to one side to bring yourself all the way up to sit. Find any posture that is comfortable and supportive for you. Close your eyes. Place your hands at your heart. Thank you for taking care of yourself today, offering yourself a little self-love, self-care. May we find ourselves more comfortable, more at home within our bodies. Namaste.